September 2025, eclipse season. Y'all ready for this? It's on the spiritual axis. There are two of them. Starts with a full moon, goes to a new moon. It is extraordinarily karmic. The second of the eclipses is opposing Saturn. That is Father Time, Lord of Karma. Makes it even more karmic. Normally, eclipses are spiritual skip steps. They are karmic skip steps. They alter life trajectories. This one, even more so because it's falling on the spiritual axis of Pisces, Virgo. Interestingly, the second eclipse falls on 29 degrees. This is an anaretic degree. This makes it even more karmic. We're in for a wild, potentially bumpy ride during these eclipses. Now, here's the great part about eclipses, though. They are all in your soul's highest evolutionary path forward. So even the bumpy stuff, the shadowy stuff, because let's face it, eclipse seasons bring in, without a doubt, the hidden, the shadow, the deeper depths of self, the more unknown territories in our psyches. All of that to really propel us further down our destiny line, to open us to something more. That's what eclipse seasons are about. I'm Sabrina Lynn. This is Embodied Astrology. I've been working with eclipses for 10 years now, not just looking at the astrology, because that's not all that I do at all, but working in the energetics, like you work and you embody an eclipse. Can you imagine embodying eclipse energy? Eclipse energy has to do with what are you eclipsing out of your life? What are you eclipsing into your life? Eclipse energy, embodying the karmic skip step that it is. Eclipse energy, propelling you further down your destiny line, faster, more ferociously than you've done it before. That's eclipse energy. And weirdly and wonderfully so, we get to work in that a little bit together here on this episode. So yes, I'm going to talk the astrology. I'm also going to give us some ways to work with eclipse energy, to do psychosomatic practices with eclipse energy, to do archetypal embodiment with eclipse energy, to do soul purpose work, shamanic journeying with eclipse energy. All right, let's dive into this. Here's how we're going to do it for today. I'm going to look at the overarching eclipse season. That's going to be an 8-week hot zone of eclipse energy. It opens up on the 23rd of August, officially, technically, with that new moon. Of course, it's not linear like that. It's not black and white like that. It will be energy before the 23rd of August. But that new moon is a really good marker because the first eclipse, which is a full moon eclipse, happens in that moon cycle. So in the first section of this conversation, I'll talk about this 8-week window, 2 weeks before the first eclipse, then 4 weeks after the last eclipse, because the last eclipse happens on a new moon. So it goes new moon to new moon. That whole new moon cycle will hold eclipse energy. So it's really an 8-week hot zone. I'll talk about overall themes. I'll talk about how to work with these overall themes. What are the areas of life that this eclipse is going to point to, possibly what it's going to bring about, open up, insights to be revealed, clarity coming through, and really how you can work with it. That's the first part. Then we'll dive a little bit deeper into eclipse number 1, which happens on September 7th. That is a full moon north node lunar eclipse. We'll talk about that. And then the third part of our conversation, we'll be talking about the second eclipse. That is the new moon, south node, solar eclipse. So we'll dive into the specifics. Again, my aim is to give you something tangible, something you can work with, also kind of a roadmap through this season, maybe sometimes a little bit of a rescue remedy, right? All right, enough of this stuff. Let's give us an overarching, overall view of this eclipse season. I'll start with rescue remedy. I think that's a good doorway in. Eclipses, they can be very purifying, very detoxifying. You can feel like you're having a lot of ascension symptoms. There's a lot of frequency upgrades. There's a lot of spiritual awakenings. There's a lot of, we'll say, up-leveling on all levels of our beings. So up-leveling in a way that, let me feel for a moment. It's kind of like everything in the skies is conspiring. And of course, as within, so without, as above, so below. So if it's happening out in the skies, it's happening inside of us. And so everything is kind of conspiring to create like the perfect storm to help you take evolutionary leaps. Now, these are evolutionary leaps from a soul standpoint. You know, it's like, this is what your soul, it's a soul full-time eclipse seasons. Reason being, nodes of fate are lit up. If you were going to look at soul points in your chart, you would look at your north node and your south node. These lines, this line, this destiny line, I like to call it, between the north node and the south node, they are always opposite each other in everyone's chart. So this line is your destiny line. Your north node is your true north. It's where you're headed in this lifetime. Your south node is where you came from. It's where you entered when you were born, but it also contains everything you came in with. You want to think Akashic record when you think about north node, south node, destiny line. Call it destiny line because it's fated, it's destined, it's karmic, dharmic. You can look at south node as being karmic, north node as being dharmic, south node as past lives, north node as future visions. Different ways of looking at it. So this is lit up during an eclipse season. It makes things like soulmates, soul contracts, fate and destiny really loud at this time. All right, so let's journey a little bit further into overarching eclipse feels. It's a time when there's a lot of fuel propelling you further down that destiny line. So now in this is where it can be these real like rapid frequency shifts. It's like your soul is ready for a big leap. It's ready for a big spiritual awakening, which puts you at a different level of vibration. You're vibrating in a different space, right? Your shift in reality, paradigm shifts can happen a lot during eclipse seasons. All of the things that come along with a big, profound spiritual awakening is associated with eclipse season. So let's go back to this. Can feel very ungrounded, can feel very much like the earth beneath us is shifting. Reality is changing. Perceptions are changing. Paradigms are changing. Can also feel very physical, you know, like all those ascension symptoms we talk about. I'm tired, I'm wired, I'm not digesting food, I'm just feeling like I've been on a cleanse forever. I have whatever cleansing things, my sweat smells, my breath is weird, stuff like that. That's very much eclipse. A lot of times it's this eclipsing out the old. This is another kind of overarching theme to think about. Again, this is this 8-week hot zone. 8-week hot zone starting on August 23rd, going to October 21st. That whole 8-week hot zone is really this energetics. We're held in this cauldron, kind of held in this pressure cooker. And I know we don't want to hear the word change, and we don't want to hear the word transformation. We don't want to hear the word evolution probably because we're really sick of it. 2025 is like evolution on crack, but it's eclipse seasons, whether we like it or not, it's coming in. So there's a way that we can move with it though. There's a way that we can allow the wind to be at our backs, you know, and to just allow ourselves to be moved because it's not happening to us, it's happening for us. And that's a shift, an adjustment we can make that will really help us and support us through this eclipse season. Is it's happening for me. This is happening for me. This evolutionary leap is happening for me. This step down my destiny line, it's happening for me. This detoxy, purification, ascension symptom stuff that I'm going through, it's happening for me. This complete dark night of the soul. Let's face it, some of us are going to go through a dark night of the soul during this eclipse season. It's going to happen. I like this reframe of dark night of the soul. It's actually a dark night of the ego. The soul is all good. The soul is fine in this. But it's that which we have identified with that's having a hard time. That which is falling away. We may be going from caterpillar to butterfly, and we're in that liminal state of gooey nothingness. Dark night can be very tough. But just putting words to it and knowing that we're in a state like that can really help. Honoring it, like it's sacred transformation. Sacred transformation can really help. Okay, a little bit more on this overarching theme of eclipse season. It's karmic skip steps. It's spiritual awakenings. It's very thin veils. The veils are very thin between the seen and the unseen. So we start to tap into more. We start to sense more. The spirit world seemingly comes alive more. It's because that veil, I'm trying to think of another word for veil. I can't think of it in this moment, but that veil, the curtain, it's like the curtain comes down and there's very little between the worlds. There's very little between the seen and the unseen. So it's a very powerful time for spiritual practice. Now, there's certain spiritual practices, we'll talk about those in this conversation, that are really aligned. Of course, you feel for what's true for you. I'm going to give you a couple of different things to feel into should they serve, but I want to give you stuff that's really aligned to the archetypal energies that are at play during this eclipse season. All right, so let's dive a little bit deeper into this specific eclipse season. The specific eclipse season, interestingly, has a lot of duality in it. Duality, meaning it's not either or, it's both and, or it's seemingly opposing forces, but they actually are really the same force. Mystic mind is really required in all eclipses, definitely this one. This is on the spiritual axis. These eclipses are taking place on the Pisces Virgo axis. That is the mystical axis. It is the mystic in you, the shaman in you, the priest, priestess in you is really lit up on this axis. Your spiritual path, your awakening path, your soul's path, very lit up, the something more. And it wants to be revolutionized. There's a lot of Uranus energy coming in these eclipses. There's a lot of new revolutionary energy. So revolutionizing your connection to spirit, revolutionizing your embodiment of soul, revolutionizing what it is that spiritually fulfills you. Interesting, right? Now, because it's on the Pisces Virgo axis, it's not just outside of us spirituality. It's embodied spirituality. That's Virgo. Virgo's the earth priestess. It's the embodied, the living it, the living our spirituality, the living our soul's path, right? The soul, the shamanic soul retrieval, and then we bring that down to live in every cell of our beings. All right, a couple more themes to this overarching 8-week hot zone. 2025 is already a really potent, powerful, transformative year. We know that. There is wild alignments going on in the astrology around 2025 and 2026. All those outer planets changing signs. Guess what? This eclipse season, it adds fuel to that fire. It adds a lot of fuel. The second eclipse adds more fuel to that fire. My sense is that the second eclipse on the 21st of September will be more challenging for most. Not all, of course, not all. We all like how these eclipses fall, where they fall in your chart. I mean, if this first eclipse is falling on your sun, on your nodes, on, Mars, whatever, the configuration will vary. But for the majority of us, the second one's going to hold some more juice to it. All right, let me feel if there's anything else here for the overarching. Nope. I think we're good there. I do a 2.5-hour deep dive into these eclipses in our membership. If you're not part of Bones, you might want to think about it during eclipse season. It's my place to hold people through and journey live into these archetypal energies, to do some deep journeying, shamanic journeying, to do some deep archetypal embodiment. We're going to work with the archetypal energy of Sedna in one of our eclipse workshops. We'll do 2. We'll work very deeply September 1st, then October 1st. In the meantime, there's already, depending on when you're watching this, of course, there's already an August preparation workshop to get us into eclipse energy already. There's a 2.5-hour eclipse deep dive where I walk us very far into this eclipse territory. It's all accessible right now, instant access to it. You'll find that below. You're super welcome to join us for a month, join us for a year, join us for this eclipse season. Yeah, you'll feel that below. All right, so let's now talk about this first eclipse. I want to get us some dates. So we'll start on this first eclipse, which happens on September 7th. The opening to it is the new moon on August 23rd. That new moon opens the door on August 23rd. Full moon eclipse happens September 7th at 15 degrees of Pisces. Happens at 11:08 a.m. PT, if you're into times and things for this. You might want to look in your own birth chart where 15 degrees of Pisces falls. Could give you some insights like, ooh, it's not my sun, just like I was saying before, and like, whoa, this one's really going to light some stuff up for you. So September 7th, we have this full moon. Full moon means it's culmination. Full moon means it's completion. Full moon means it's an ending point. So if we're talking a full moon eclipse, we're talking a bigger ending. We're talking a karmic ending. Full moon eclipses, it is what is karmically being eclipsed out of my life. What am I right on time to release? Like I now am ready to release this big pattern, this big karmic thing, this big belief system, this big paradigm that I've evolved through. I have grown through. I have gotten all of the karmic goodness, the lessons, the gifts, the blessings, the whatever out of it, and it's now ready to be let go of. That's a full moon eclipse, but here's the dualistic nature. Remember I said these eclipses are a little bit dualistic. Here's the dualistic nature of this. Yes, full moon, eclipsing out. What am I releasing? It's on the north node. All right. Whenever eclipses fall like this, it's always an interesting little like dance between the releasing and the opening up to future visions. Your north node is where you're headed in this life. So while there is this big karmic purging, releasing, letting go happening during this full moon, and I'll talk about a full moon in Pisces specifically and how we can work with that in a moment. So we have this big full moon in Pisces, releasing, culmination. It's karmic, it's bigger endings, right? Destined endings, it's fated. That's going on whilst my north node is being lit up by a full moon. Full moon's illuminating. It's being illuminated. So my north node is being lit up. Where am I headed to in this life? What are my future visions from a soulful, meaningful, purposeful standpoint? Where am I headed toward? Where am I headed toward? Where am I headed toward? So we're getting almost insights for the path forward, which is typically like new moon, new beginnings, new path forward, new seeds being planted. So both are going to be happening simultaneously. We can create space for both of them. You could go into a very purifying purging practice, right? Release it out, shake it out, do some big breath work, do some wild dancing, do some emotional releasing, some purging. I don't know, get an Epsom salt bath, go sweat it out, run some hill sprints, but hold your releasing karma out of your very cells. You know, you're releasing it out of your sweat. You're releasing it out of your breath, right? Hold these intentions. You can get real intentional, right? Real shamanic about this, right? Just like hold that intention and make it physical. Like get the body involved, get the emotions involved, get the physicality involved, get your dream life involved, take it into a dream, take it into like, get get more behind it. There's two things that I always talk about in ReWilding. Two things. This is the secret sauce to everything. Every single thing. This will illuminate every practice. It'll change your whole life. Two things. Secret sauce. Ready for it? One is your focus. It's your focus. What are you focused on? And how deeply can you focus? How much can you bring your consciousness to something? How far into something can you penetrate? Have you done consciousness practices? Are you called to do consciousness practices? This could be something powerful to work with on a spiritual eclipse, during a spiritual eclipse, focusing on consciousness practices. I am developing my consciousness. I'm expanding my consciousness. I'm deepening my consciousness. I am going to train my consciousness. I know that there is more to my consciousness, and I'm going to explore what that is. Archetypes to work with, Shiva. Shiva is actually square this first eclipse. Powerful as fuck, right? We have barely begun to tap into what's possible with our consciousness. Where focus goes, energy flows. And I feel like we're almost living in a world where it's training us to have very diffuse awareness, very, very distracted focus all over the place, ADA, and we're just not very effective. We're not very powerful because we're scattered. So just feeling into that could be something that's coming up for you. It's like, whoa, I actually could train my consciousness. Whoa, I could actually train myself. Whoa, the world has actually innately, automatically wired me to be not as powerful with my consciousness because I'm distracted. My focus is all over the place. Could be something really powerful coming up for a lot of people during this first eclipse. Second eclipse too, but definitely this first eclipse being square to Shiva. So it's that the sun and the moon and a full moon, they're opposite each other. Shiva's perfectly square. Let me see, perfect. He's 1 degree off. So this full moon happens at 15 degrees. He's at 16 degrees, square them. Okay, so that was secret sauce number 1, consciousness. Number 2 to the secret sauce is life force, is how much juice do you have access to? So yeah, okay, I can focus on something all day long, but can I bring the juice? Right? So if you're holding an intention, right? Like I was sharing, you can hold an intention. I was saying, do some breath work, like get your body involved, get your emotions involved. I'm saying get your body involved, get your emotions involved, get your breath involved, because now you're bringing in the juice, you're bringing in the life force, you're bringing in the chi, you're bringing in the energy. So if you've got those two things operating in big, powerful ways, you are a powerhouse. You have got capabilities that most of the world does not have, because both of those things in one human being are usually not highly developed, highly trained. Now, you could say consciousness is masculine. You could say life force energy is feminine. So if you were to work in masculine archetypes, you're training your consciousness. You were to work in feminine archetypes, you're training your capacity to channel chi and energy and life force. You have both of them. You're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. It's the sacred union. You're creating with creation at that point, right? There is nothing that you can't penetrate your consciousness into. There's nothing that you can't penetrate your consciousness into. And then there's nothing that you can't bring enough life force, enough juice, enough whatever to bring it to alchemize it, to magnetize it in, to shift it, to change it. These are the things that are opening up in us as the new human. These are the capacities that are opening up to us. These, you as alchemist, you as he who magnetizes in the doing without doing in extraordinarily powerful ways. So some of this pain that we're going through, and I know it's painful. I've been getting ripped apart for the last 3 months. I know it's painful. I'm in some of it. It's the awakening. It's the DNA switching on, it's the cells. Every cell of our being is waking up to something more. It's lighting up these capacities, as within, so without. If our outside world, our external world is shifting and changing and evolving this rapidly, you don't think suddenly the as within principle, divine law doesn't apply? Oh no, it applies. It applies. And we're feeling it. We're all feeling it. We're all in it. We're all in this like rapid evolution. Consciousness is expanding so rapidly. Technology is expanding capacity so rapidly. It's happening. It's happening. It's also happening in here. And I got so much compassion for whatever it is that you're going through, however it's showing up in your life, and to whatever degree. Maybe you're fine. You're not even feeling it. You're like, yeah, I'm good. Great. Maybe you're having the dark night, right? I got compassion for all of it. Okay, so let's keep going. This full moon happening on September 7th, I've talked about it's a north node. I've talked about it's a full moon. I haven't talked about that it's in Pisces. I've talked this spiritual axis, Virgo Pisces axis. The fact that this full moon is in Pisces, it's illuminating. It's a full moon. It's a culmination in the sign of Pisces. That is there are no boundaries in Pisces. It's the boundless energy. It's the boundless. I am the infinite all of everything and the infinite all of nothing, all simultaneously. All is one. I am the interconnectedness of the all of everything. It is the most spiritual sign. It is the most mystical sign. So it can be very disorienting. It can be very mystically disorienting for some of us. It could be very escapism. It could be numbing out. It could be spiritual bypassing. That's some of the shadow stuff that we want to look out for happening during this full moon. It's so okay to check out, to check back in, right? It is so okay. And during these eclipses, they're going to be potent and we're going to need to do that. Checking out, right? Netflix out for a little while, whatever, to check back in. That's different than just a complete bury my head in the sand, a complete spiritual bypassing of stuff. So just watch out for that. Just watch out for that. Catch yourself when you do it. Have compassion. Call yourself back in. All right. I do this practice a lot. Maybe it'll serve for you. Like, what is the best place to put my consciousness on? I do that a lot. Highest and best, highest and best. I do that alignment with myself. And then I go, what is the best thing to put my consciousness on? What is the best place to do? I do this practice every single day where I let it can go anywhere. It has total freedom to go anywhere. My consciousness can go anywhere it's called to. But where does it serve? Where does it serve? Because, it could go into the gutter. It could go wherever. And where does it most serve for my consciousness to go? Whoa. And sometimes it's very surprising. It's very surprising where it ends up going and focusing. Okay, here's my consciousness. And then, of course, I bring the juice, the two secret sauce, right? You bring the consciousness, then you bring the life force. Okay, so here's where my consciousness is going. And if you don't think that what you do in meditation when you bring those two things doesn't work, try it. Try it. Develop your consciousness, develop the life force in yourself, and try it. Focus on something and see what actually physically manifests and what happens. You will be shocked at the things that you can do just in a meditation like that. You will be shocked at the relationship you can call in. You will be shocked at the things you can heal. You will be shocked at the abundance you can attract. You will be shocked. Shocked. It's got to come from that place of highest and best, though. Otherwise you're kind of just working from a lower level power, right? You might as well work from soul fire, soul juice, which is highest and best. My highest aligned self, where's my focus and consciousness want to go? Whoosh! It's got your karma, it's got your destiny, it's got your soul behind it. That's the magic. That's the magic. That's like divine law, right? It's divine law. You don't get to unlock the goods, like the juice, the alchemist in you without the alignment. You just don't. You don't get to work with Shakti, Kundalini, and aim it somewhere without the alignment piece. Those of you who've done Dragon Mystery School with me, you know that. You've worked the consciousness piece deeply. You've worked the life force piece deeply. You've opened up the alchemist. It's the path of the alchemist, really. You've opened up the capacity to work with all of these, and you know it's that alignment piece. By the way, we just opened up Dragon Mystery School for this eclipse season because this is so alive and aligned. And we took $300 more off of already the thousands we took off of when we originally ran it. It's under $1,000. It's a full proper mystery school. It's 12 weeks. It's 20 journeys. It is a 3-month mystery school. That's a special down below. It's only going to happen during eclipse season. So if you're like, whoa, I want to train my consciousness. Whoa, I want to access life force. Whoa, I'm feeling alchemy. I'm feeling like Merlin mysteries. I'm feeling this sacred union. That's the place to go. And that's on Eclipse Special. You'll see Eclipse Specials and you'll see Dragon Mystery School, threefold path, we sometimes call it below. All right, let's keep going. So then we've got Hekate is the other archetype that's really loud. Hekate, queen of the crossroads, queen of the witches, oracle, visionary. Love this. It's a north node full moon. Full moons are witchy innately. North node, that's future visions. And we've got the oracle standing there. This is just too good. It's too good. Hekate, she's trine the full moon. She's also very close to black moon, so she's bringing in a lot of extra dark goddess energy. All right, I think that's enough for this first moon. If you want to go deeper into this, again, dive into the 2.5-hour deep dive on eclipses. That's a membership. You'll find that link below for the deep dive. All right, let's move on. Second eclipse is happening on September 21st. So that was a full moon, the one on September 7th. That was a full moon north node eclipse happening in Pisces. So of course, Pisces is where the moon was. The sun was in Virgo, right? Because they're opposite during a full moon. Now we're shifting that 2-week hotspot between September 7th and September 21st. This is a magic window of time. It is no wonder I am in Australia, the home, the birthplace of ReWilding, running 2 retreats, one on the first eclipse, another one on the second eclipse. I didn't plan that. I know, everyone's like, Sabrina, piss off. Of course you planned. I planned these a year ago based on when it would be a good time to go to Australia. Really and truly, I didn't look at the astrology when I planned them. I did not look at the astrology when I planned them. Everyone calls me out. They're like, you did. You must have. I literally got a message from a woman on the ReWilding team, my beautiful friend Tiggs. She sends me a message. She's like, dude, did you know these events are on the eclipses? I was like, that's fun. Talk about fated and destined, right? That's eclipse season. So let's talk about you. These 2 eclipses, what you do on them and in between them really matters. It matters tenfold than like a normal day. That is not between 2 eclipses. It's like our decisions are more impactful. Our ripple effect on the world is bigger. It's bigger. If you can look at your calendar, you can move some stuff around. You can plan for some things, whatever those things are that you feel would propel you forward down your true north line, that would support you in creating your best lived life. That's what eclipses want for us. Your best lived life. And guess what? You've made some really weird choices. Guess what? You've had to work through some weird karma. You're maybe done with some of that stuff. So that relationship, it's got to go. It's like an old shoe. Get rid of it. What's being eclipsed out of your life? What's being eclipsed out? Between that full moon is the culmination, it's the peak. Now it's going to be the dark moon to the new moon. That 2-week window, releasing, letting go, releasing, letting go, making space for the new, making space for the new, making space for the new, opening up to the new, opening up to the new, calling in the new, calling in the new, switching on your psychospiritual gifts. Switching on your psychospiritual gifts, what wants to turn on in you? What new wisdoms want to turn on in you? What new soul callings come alive? What are you seeing now, being called to now that you couldn't see before? Paying very close attention to it, right? Paying very close attention to it. Like consciously lived life during those 2 weeks, powerful. All right, let's talk about September 21. This is the bigger. I would say this is the bigger of the 2 eclipses. One, we've had to warm up, right? From the first one, like, all right, let's do this thing. We're getting worked over. Now we get to this one. The reason I say this one is bigger, one, it's happening at the 29th degree. That is a karmic degree. That is the anaretic degree. That is the final degree of that sign. 2, it is lighting up all of those planets that have just moved into new signs that everyone's talking about, is the evolutionary, new human, new earth, the big change that's happening in 2025 and 2026, right? It forms a kite. So this eclipse forms a kite. It falls at 29 degrees. It forms a kite with Saturn and Neptune, who Saturn is at 28 degrees, Neptune's at 0 degrees. So that's directly opposite this new moon. And then the kite, the 2 sides, Pluto at 1 degrees, Uranus conjunct Sedna at 1 degrees. Okay, a new moon eclipse on the 29th degree. This is the duality part. Let me talk about this. New moon is new beginning, planting seeds, especially because it's a new moon in Virgo, right? It's a new moon in Virgo, so it's really planting seeds. Virgo's earthy. Virgo's the earth priestess. Plant new seeds for your soul path forward, right? Your soul purpose, your highest visions of life. Plant new seeds for that. Yes, it's a new moon. I'm going to be at 29 degrees though. I'm going to be at the karmic degree, the completion degree, the final degree. So yeah, plant new seeds. Also, I'm completing karma. You might be planting new seeds from a karmic completion standpoint, or you might be planting new seeds to complete some karma. See how twisted and wild this can get? It's very dualistic. So now also, it's a new moon, it's new seeds, new beginnings, all that stuff, but it's a south node eclipse, as opposed to the last one, which was north node, future visions, where are you headed? It's a south node, new moon, so new beginnings, new starts, but I'm on the south node. I'm in karmic territory, not dharmic territory. I'm in like shadow territory. I'm in past life territory. I'm in like, what is the rubble, the karmic backpack going on here? You know, but there's also, what is the wisdom here to be brought up from these past lives? What is the wisdom that you came in with? Think Akashic records. What's yet to be switched on in you? What's yet to be switched on in you? So do you see? This is going to be a weird one. This one I think is going to be really trippy for people. It's going to be really I'm going to just say it like this. It's a mind fuck, this one, right? It's going to take something beyond the mind to actually get the goods out of this one. I'm going to say it's going to take heart. It's going to take some heart. It's going to take some lower wisdom center, right? Like get into your bones, get into your guts. Get into your hips, like get deeper into stuff. So what are the practices that are going to take you deeper? It's Virgo, right? Virgo is the earth priestess. This is like get out barefoot on the ground and you're stomping around, you're having fires, you're doing shamanic ceremonies, you're drumming, right? Like get root chakra type stuff. The earth priestess, she wants to ground it in. She wants to bring it in. My sense is that we're going to see, feel, know a lot more, understand a lot more if we try to translate it from other wisdom centers beyond left brain logical, because this guy's not going to make it there. Way too much mystical madness going on. Way too much fog. It's opposing Saturn, who's conjunct Neptune. That's the cloud of unknowing. Neptune, cloud of unknowing, just descends the cloud of unknowing. You're at the 29th degree. That's a lot going on. Right? You got Pluto on one side, then you have Uranus conjunct Sedna on another side. Let's talk a little bit about them. Pluto is all about death and birth, death and rebirth, complete transformation. It's a soul evolutionary point though. So being in a kite, I'm pushing from the deepest, most powerful depths. That's Pluto. Uranus, radical revolutionary into the new. I'm a great awakener and I'm going to lightning bolt you into the new. He's conjunct Sedna. Sedna's going in a whole-bodied way. Sedna's deep, sacred feminine, right? Deep, sacred. And she talks us through this initiatory journey, which I feel is super powerful for this eclipse. This initiatory journey where in her myth, she's literally clinging onto the side of the boat. She's clinging onto her old life, the side of a boat. Her father's in the boat. And to save his own life, he chops off her fingers. This is the Sedna myth. Isn't this crazy? Chops off her fingers. So she is in a forced initiation into complete transformation. How many of us can relate to that right now? Where we're just like, no, like, I'm not ready. Something. Either we're going to find a way to let go into the complete transformation because it's magic. She goes from mortal to immortal, human to goddess. Her fingers become sea creatures, right? She like opens up to all these sacred gifts, these psychospiritual gifts, this whole new way of being, complete transformation. but she went holding, clinging, like. So are we going to need an external force? For her, it was her father chopping off her fingers. For you, it might be losing your job, relationship ending, money losing, right? Or are we going to be able to like, all right, one finger at a time into the new. Here I go. All right, I'm trusting this deep fall into the unknown abyss of the deepest depths of the mysteries possible, and the deepest depths of my own mysteries of self possible. And oh my gosh, look what's awakening in me. Oh my God, it's a complete paradigm shift. Oh my gosh, the whole reality, everything that I thought was is completely changing into something new. Oh my gosh. I mean, we're literally walking Sedna's myth right now in 2025 and 2026. I am super stoked to take this journey with us in Bones membership. We will be doing this. I don't know if it's going to be September 1st or October 1st. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I was just trying to feel that. I was like that one squinty eye if you're watching on the video. I was like, can I feel? No, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But that's super open to anyone who feels to join me on that journey. Okay. Let me weave one last little piece into this conversation is Shiva. We spoke about him, this focus on consciousness, training our consciousness. And then remember, we bring in the life force and we have these crazy, amazing ways of living. Shiva was square the sun and moon in the last eclipse. In this eclipse, he's square the nodes. How good is this? Shiva is a baller. Like, dude's a player. He is just up in the mix and he is like, I am here. I am bringing all of my divine masculine consciousness. I am bringing all aspects of the masculine, right? Because Shiva holds every aspect of the masculine. He holds the wild man. He holds the warrior. He holds the wizard. He holds the mystic. Holds it all. And he's literally square, which is a push. It's a push. Squares are challenging. It's a push, but it pushes us to make a move. Love this. Love this. Okay, I go much deeper into this. There's more archetypal specifics and other little alignments. I do that in the deep dive if you're called to it. Otherwise, my gosh, it is amazing to be here on this eclipse journey with you. Come hang out with me on Instagram. I do a lot during this. Come hang out with me in membership if that feels right. I do a lot. I'll probably do a few more things on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Drop me a comment. I love being here with you. There's a few other things in the Eclipse special. We put a whole list of things that you can do. Not a whole list. There's 5, right? I'm like, oh my God, so many. It's 5. Sabrina, calm down. 2 of them are those events in Sydney. There's still a couple of seats left. Don't know by the time you watch this if there will be. There's the new human activation. I love this for this eclipse because eclipses are, and especially 2025 and 2026, they are really opening us up to these new psychospiritual gifts, these new places within self. So that could be something that could be supportive to you. All right. Massive love to you. Have an amazing eclipse season. And I will see you like when I see you, where I see you. ReWilding Weekly, that's free if you're not on the newsletter. Everybody loves that. I send that out every Sunday. It's written from the heart. That's also just something that can support you too through this. Okay, you'll find all those links below. Huge love to you all. Happy eclipse.